Good evening and welcome to Sunset News on this Thursday evening. As always, we bring you news, community stories, economics, weather and sports. I am Aina Kweo. In the news tonight, if the number of registered voters in 2019 is anything to go by, it would mean the Electoral Commission of Namibia has to register 26,000 people on average daily to reach the 2019 levels within the 52 days set aside for voter registration. The National Voters Register comprised of over 1.3 million voters in 2019, which signaled an increase of 144,274 voters from the 2014 polls. With the census result indicating that the Namibian population has since grown to over 3 million people, analysts expect a significant increase in the new voters' roll. ECN said it is almost ready system of registering for eligible voters who will visit its 4,258 registration points countrywide between the 3rd of June to the 1st of August, adding that the process of finalizing the registration points is at an advanced stage. ECN Chief Electoral and Referenda Officer Peter Sharma this week told Namibian Sun that he is confident that the 52 days and the commission has set aside to register voters in preparation of the national election later this year are more than sufficient. The commission will deploy registration teams to all 121 constituencies. Depending on the population density, some constituencies will have more registration points than others. Meticulous planning has gone into this based on the Commission's experience of conducting a GRV in 2014 and successfully registering over 1.3 million voters over a period of 42 days, Sharma said. He said a total of 2,700 election officials will be on duty to register new voters between 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. daily, except for Sundays during the registration period. Moving over to our next story, Chidake Murange, who's 22 years old, who stands accused of stabbing his 29-year-old girlfriend to death 2 weeks ago, made his first appearance in the Windhoek Magistrate Court today. His hearing has been postponed until the 19th of August and he will remain in police custody. Murange requested to be transferred from the Windhoek police holding cells to the Windhoek Correctional Facility while police investigations continue. The victim, Frida Amadila, was employed at a local bank. Murange allegedly stabbed Amadila in the early morning of Monday, the 8th of April, and then drove her to the hospital. She was later declared dead upon arrival. Moving over to our next story, a 33-year-old man recently survived an attack with both his ears slashed with a panga at a bar in the Upopo informal settlement of Ondangwa after a fight broke out after he allegedly found a security guard escorting another man into his girlfriend's bedroom. Chief Inspector Thomas Ayambo from the Oshana Community Policing Subdivision, who confirmed the incident, said the victim reportedly decided to overnight at his girlfriend's room at her workplace at the Moonwalk Bar, where she is employed as a bartender. Ayambo said upon arrival, the woman's boyfriend found another man entering the bedroom, accompanied by the security guard who was on night shift at the bar. A fight erupted between the two. After they were separated, the suspect, the security guard, disappeared and then came back with a panga, he said. Ayambo said the guard used the panga to attack the victim, cutting both his ears. He added that the right ear was almost completely slashed off, while the left ear was slightly wounded, and he also sustained injuries on the right arm. He said the guard also survived with the injuries when the victim fought back while allegedly stabbing him with an unknown object. Ayambo said the two men have been taken to Onanjokwe Hospital for treatment and were discharged afterwards. He said the 43-year-old security guard faces charges of attempted murder. The woman's boyfriend faces a charge of assault with intent to do grievous bodily harm. No arrests have been made, and the panga has been confiscated and booked by an exhibit. Police investigations continue. In our next story, the Namibian police force has revealed in a statement that they are experiencing a rise in complaints from the public who have fallen victim to scams during an ongoing police cadet constable recruitment. It is noted that shortlisted candidates victims in this regard are targeted by suspects who pretend to be from the police recruitment office in Windhoek. As alleged, a victim will receive a call from a so-called police officer who asks questions relating to qualifications as well as first aid certificates. The suspect then demand a payment of around 800 Namibian dollars, explaining to the victim that by paying the amount, the applicant would bypass normal procedures to obtain a first aid certificate in case they do not have it, the statement read. According to police spokesperson Kaona Shikwambi, the suspects deliberately use police ranks to conceal their identity and to make the public believe that it is authentic. The following two cell phone numbers are being used by scammers, that is 081 436 4903, and the other number is 081 436 4929. Owing to the above, the Namibian police force herewith issues a stern caution to public members, particularly the shortlisted candidates and their relatives, to be vigilant and never entertain calls from strangers who are requesting money for recruitment processes. The candidates are equally assured that the police force has been and will continue communicating with its the public through media platforms, both print and electronic, Shikwambi added. These Tones Will Speak, an exhibition of photography exploring a contemporary and historical expression of freedom with work by Delight Namene, Zabetha Philander, Phoenix Johannes, Rachel Sakeusa, Ayambo Gabriel Itembu, Pakiti Mburu, Sage, and Tamara Strauss will take place on Thursday, the 2nd of May at the street side of Things in Windhoek. Initiated by the Embassy of Portugal in Windhoek, the project showcases the results of a workshop titled Photography, History and Freedom, an exploration of historic moments facilitated by the Portuguese photographer Carlos Barandas in November 2023. The project was planned in the framework of the celebration of the 50th anniversary of the Carnation Revolution in Portugal, which took place today. The Carnation Revolution put an end to the dictatorial regime in Portugal, which had been in place for 48 years, and enabled the process of decolonialization in Portuguese-speaking African countries. Participants explored how images shape our understanding of freedom through different social, cultural, political, and historical contexts. As a result, this exhibition shows 8 very different approaches to the same theme. And that is all for our top stories. After the break, we will return with our story of the day. Stay with us.
Connection. It's in the human touch, the feeling of belonging. It inspires us and empowers us, creates clarity from complexity, It starts new conversations, unlocks the power of advice, and makes an impact on your life. At Alex Forbes, we pioneer insight to provide you with advice that connects your decisions of today to your impact tomorrow.
The Deputy Minister John Mutora is visiting the Kavango East region for a consultation meeting with the regional governor, councillors and the Directorate Disaster Risk Management staff at the Kavango East Regional Office in Rundu. The chairperson of the Kavango East Regional Council, Damien Mangambai, shares more. Have a look.
Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, let me also follow the Honorable Governor to equally welcome you to this region. And I'd like to inform you that we have started with the food aid distribution in all our 6 constituencies. However, it wasn't easy for us to commence with the distribution. At the time, we were informed that the list of beneficiaries was having some discrepancy, and then we were told to go and verify. The verification took longer, but however we are done with verification in all constituencies. Food are being distributed, and we have also equally have challenges of transportation. Currently, we only have 2 private trucks that we have hired, 2 trucks that we have also obtained from the Namibian Defence Force, and 2 from the Regional Council. And because of the nature of our roads, sometimes when food are being distributed, specifically deep in the inland, we expect some breakdown of tire punctures, and you name them, and this is happening.
After the break, we return with economic news.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Green Hydrogen Commissioner James Nyube says the sector is looking to bring unemployment down from 32.4% to 2.3%. He was speaking during the Namibia International Energy Conference in Windhoek. Nyube said the commission aims to reduce the country's Gini coefficient from 0.56% to 0.3%. The Gini coefficient measures wealth inequality within a population where 0 represents perfect equality while 1 represents perfect inequality. We are looking to build an industry and not just propose green hydrogen. There are opportunities that exist within the value chain, Nyube said. Speaking on the challenges and opportunities in promoting local content development in the energy sector, Saku Electric Supply Company Executive Director Yves Chenji said Namibia should leverage the current education and language proficiency. Furthermore, Shenji added that it is important to lay a solid foundation for sustainable local content development. To be able to build a sustainable local country is just like a house. You must have a solid foundation. He urged stakeholders to focus on planning and policies to support the growth of indigenous businesses. Now let's have a look at our economic indicators. The Namibian dollar trades for 23 Namibian dollars 75 cents to 1 British pound, 20 Namibian dollars 40 cents get you 1 euro, 90 Namibian dollars and 5 cents get you 1 US dollar, 2 Namibian dollars 63 cents gets you 1 Chinese yuan. Two commodities, particularly gold and copper, have increased with 0.32% and 1.39% respectively, while platinum has increased with 0.12%, Brent crude oil with 0.82%. After the break, we return with international news. Stay with us. Music label executive JP Moret is one of those who sees potential advantages to a U.S. ban on TikTok. He said, "I do believe it will be a blessing in disguise." On Tuesday, the Senate passed a bill to get TikTok's Chinese owner 9 months to sell the short video app that has 170 American users or have it banned in the U.S. altogether. Joe Biden has since signed it into law, but many experts doubt if any potential buyer has the financial resources to buy TikTok or if China and the U.S. government agencies would approve a sale. Have a look.
Music label executive JP Moret is one of those who sees potential advantages to a U.S. ban on TikTok.
I do believe it will be a blessing in disguise.
On Tuesday, the Senate passed a bill to get TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance 9 months to sell the short video app. That has 170 million American users, or have it banned in the U.S. altogether.
I just signed into law
President Joe Biden has since signed it into law. But many experts doubt if any potential buyer has the financial resources to buy TikTok, or if China and U.S. government agencies would approve a sale. Moret is CEO of Interlude Studios, which relied on TikTok to launch careers of artists like singer Austin. He said news of the TikTok ban didn't come as a shock. He also says most artists he spoke to were ready to move on.
Didn't really come along with any sort of major concern. I would say the concern has been relatively minor because artists are ready to move on to what's next. I think they're a bit tired of the vanity metrics and chasing those with TikToks day in and day out.
TikTok has rivaled larger tech companies like Meta for user attention and ad budgets. It's changed how young people discover music by catapulting emerging artists into viral hits. But Moret admits the app doesn't work as well for his own venture as it used to.
The actual usage of TikTok and the prioritization of that tool specifically for us and for artists, while it still remains, it isn't as powerful as it once was.
Aside from the ban, TikTok has clashed with music industry giants lately. It started pulling Universal Music's content from its app in February after failing to reach a licensing agreement with the music label. Ultimately, Moret thinks the music industry should come up with its own platform for music discovery.
Obviously, it'll come with its difficulties initially and its hardships. How can we reach people? How can we reach wider audiences? Where are people going to get their music? You know, all of these questions will arise, but I think naturally naturally it will resolve itself.
The ban caps a 4-year battle the US government launched over concerns Beijing could use TikTok to influence content or access user data.
Rest assured, we aren't going anywhere.
The United Kingdom approved controversial legislation on Tuesday that allows the government to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda, with the deportation flights expected to start this summer. The so-called Safety to Rwanda Asylum and Immigration Bill completed its passage through the UK Parliament, clearing the way for it to soon receive royal assent and become a law. The legislation, which aims to deter migrants from entering the UK illegally via small boats with hopes of claiming asylum once they reach the shore, had been stalled in Parliament for 2 months as lawmakers in both houses repeatedly proposed and rejected the amendments. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, who described the bill as a landmark legislation, has promised that the first flights deporting illegal migrants to Rwanda, where the asylum claims will be processed, would take off in the next 10 to 12 weeks. And that's all for international news. Let's have a look at the weather predictions for tomorrow. Katima Mulilo, Rundu and Enana as well as Windhoek can expect a minimum of 15 degrees, while Otjiwarongo can expect a minimum of 14 degrees. Oshakati and Omaruru can expect a minimum of 17 degrees. Henties Bay can expect a maximum of 21 degrees, while Keetmanshoop is at 32 degrees. That includes Mariental. Rehoboth and Adamsvlei can expect a maximum of 31 degrees. After the break, we return with a sports rep, with our sports news courtesy of Sports Rep.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, starting off with soccer news first. The English Premier League that continued, a few midweek games that's going to be played this week. Important game for Arsenal. Arsenal beat Chelsea very comprehensively and they stayed in the fight for the English Premier League. They beat Chelsea by 5-0. Quite a comprehensive win for them. They played at home at Arsenal, and that means that after 34 games they have 77 league points. That is Arsenal, the leading at the moment. Liverpool have played 1 game less. They've got 74 points after 33 games as well. And then Manchester City, 32 games, they've played 2 less than Arsenal, and they've got 73 points. It's all in the hands actually of Manchester City, the defending champions. If they continue to win all their games to the end of the season, they will be champions again for the 4th consecutive year. The next game for Arsenal will be on the 28th of April. It will be Sunday, and they will play a tough game. They will play a away game to Tottenham Hotspur. And the next game for Manchester City is when they play against Brighton, and that is a away game for them, and that game will be played on Thursday. Continuing international sports news with tennis news, the Madrid Open that started, it was qualifiers first for the men, and it is the women that already have some of the first round games. The qualifiers for the men going into the Madrid Open, which is a thousands tournament, is Dominic Thiem. He's a former world number 1. He's battling at the moment, playing in the qualifiers. He was injured for quite a long time as well. He lost to Tunakai Kokinakis of Australia by 6-1 and 6-3. So he's out of the tournament in the qualifiers. And also Richard Gasquet of France is very experienced on clay. He won. He beat Duje Atuquif and he beat him by 6-2 and 7-5. That is to advance into the main draw. On the women's side of the draw, it's Sofia Kenin. She's from the USA, also a former major winner. She lost in the first round of the tournament of the Madrid Open. She lost to Anna Smidlova by 6-3 and 6-4. And then a better result for Ziyu Wang. She's from China. She beat Anna Bogdam. She beat her in a tough 3-setter, 6-7, 7-6 and 6-2. So that is the Madrid Open that starts, and all the top seeds will start playing later in the week. And to conclude today's international sports news, it is golf news. It is world number 1 women's golf player Nelly Korda that said that she will not play in the next PGA tournament that starts this week. The next tournament will be the JM Eagle LA, the Los Angeles Championship, but it is Nelly Korda that withdrew from the tournament. That is because of exhaustion. She played many tournaments and she actually won her 5th consecutive tournament that she played in when she won the past weekend the Chevron Championship. And the Chevron Championship was also the first major of the year. The next tournament that Nelly Korda will play in, according to her planning, is the Cognizant Founders Competition. That will be in New Jersey starting on the 9th of May. So a little bit of a rest for Nelly Korda. When she do play in the tournament in New Jersey, she will attempt to win for the 6th consecutive time, and that will be a record on her own. At the moment, she shared the 5 consecutive wins with Nancy Lopez, who did that in 1978, and also Annika Sorenstam that 5 wins consecutively in the 2004 and 2005 season. So that's Nelly Korda out of this week's tournament, but will be back in action again on the 9th of May. That's international sports news for today. Hope you have a great sport day, and we talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
And with that, we've come to the end of today's broadcast. Make sure you join Sunset News on Facebook on all NMH platforms on weekdays, as well as on our website, which is called oneupto.com. Sunset News screens on DSTV channel 285 and GoTV 25 every weekday from 7:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. Don't end your day without us. Good night.